I've been talking about Christianity in our country. There's a spectrum of belief. Most people that are Christian are good people, right? They live by the rules that sort of govern their morality. And then there's others, they'll sort of ingest the toxicity that can come from the fearful rhetoric about, like the border crisis and get the illegals out and things like that. And again, no real Christian should feel that way, right? So sadly, people have been activated to hate thy neighbor. You're supposed to love thy neighbor, not hate thy neighbor. Here is a word from skeptic pastor named Jeremy. He's a pastor who shares what actually was in the Bible.
The Bible is clear, shockingly clear, on how you are to treat immigrants. Love the foreigners, for you were foreigners in Egypt. That's Deuteronomy chapter 10. It says, do not mistreat or oppress the foreigner. That is Exodus chapter 22. And then, Jesus says, I was a stranger and you welcomed me in. I know that's not exactly directly about immigrants, but do you remember the story of the political leader who ordered the search for and killing of children? The edict that required Jesus and his family to flee political violence and immigrate to a foreign country? Yeah, that's Matthew chapter 2. And I know you're going to pull out Romans chapter 13 in the comments. Yes, it does say obey the authorities, but you have to remember that Paul was writing that while he was in prison. And the main point of that is that the authority and power needs to serve justice. It's not a blank check for tyranny.
There it is, not a blank check for tyranny. I love when someone who knows the Bible actually speaks about what the intention was. Where I stand with this immigration issue, it's like, look, sure, we need to shore up our borders, but when it comes to immigrants stealing our jobs, it's all fan fiction. It's all fan fiction. The real issue is the billionaire class making all the money and not being taxed accordingly. They've used technology to suck up all the money from the middle class, and it's hard right now to buy a home. It's hard to feel like with inflation and all these other issues that it's like, people haven't really had a pay raise for decades. That's the real issue, not whether or not someone made it through here through an asylum process or illegally. We need to have more compassion. We need to have more grace. That's what I'm going to provide on my channel. That's all I talk about.